Hey, how you doing, my friends? Hope you are all good. So I'm sat in a great place today. I've got all my samples behind me. Samples that I get sent from businesses. How cool is that? So what I'm here today for, I'm going to do a quick 20 minutes on how to make $1,000 to $5,000 per month. Just on the back of the LinkedIn platform, and obviously it's connected to the industry of buying and selling pallets of goods or making finder's fees. So the first thing I want to mention about LinkedIn that a lot of people don't realise is that it's a highly untapped platform. It's a platform that's very underrated actually, because a lot of people like to make connections on LinkedIn, but the thing is with LinkedIn, if you are proactive on LinkedIn, there's a gold mine right there to make money with. And most people just don't take advantage of LinkedIn in a way that they should. There's some great ways for us guys in the business of flipping pallets or even just making finder's fees. LinkedIn is an absolute gold mine. Purely on the back of that, I make probably 5 figures per month just from LinkedIn platform. And I'm going to give you the reasons why and how I make that kind of money. You should be making at least $1,000 to $5,000 per month just on the back of the LinkedIn B2B platform. So first things first, LinkedIn is like Facebook, but for business, basically. It's where business people hang out. It's where companies have their business profile, but also people who work for companies have their own profile also. LinkedIn is completely free, first of all, so there's no excuse not to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is completely free. Yeah, you can pay a monthly premium for a few extras, but you know, it's quite easy just to use the LinkedIn platform completely free every week, forever. All right. There's millions and millions of people on LinkedIn. Who are these people? All the people that are on LinkedIn, like people on Facebook, but the people on LinkedIn are specific people who work for specific companies, all right, who are in specific job positions, all right. How awesome is that? So basically what we have free access to, free access to connecting with a person in a company who works in a specific job position. So if I wanted to find someone who, if I wanted to find a company that sells toys, you know, I'm just an example, a company that sells toy products, I could find a person within that company, you know, within that toy company who is in a specific job position, maybe a sales director, maybe a sales manager, maybe in procurement, maybe a buyer, but someone that I can literally connect with. I can literally go onto their profile and click connect and wait for them to accept my connection request. And then I can get into a conversation with that person through LinkedIn Messenger, or I can grab their email address and email them away from the LinkedIn platform and to introduce myself properly and explain what I do, what I'm looking for. So for me, it's an incredible place for building connections. And the great thing about this is that you can build connections every single day for literally under 10 minutes a day. And you can build connections with specific people in specific industries. So if I'm looking for pallets of goods for a specific product or product category, you know, I can focus on finding contacts within companies who are related to what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? So I do really deep dive into this in my coaching program as far as building connections on LinkedIn. Because there's a lot of different ways of making connections on LinkedIn using, they've got a search box in the LinkedIn platform. So you can look for, you know, you can search companies by product name. You can search companies by, you know, job positions. So it's bringing up search results of people within companies in a specific job position. You can search for companies just in a specific industry, you know, a specific product category or industry. You can search for companies with a specific word in their business name. You know, if you were looking for food companies, you could literally put the word foods in the search box and it would bring up companies with the name foods in their business name. If you put Foods Limited, for example, it would bring up results of food companies with Food Limited in their business name. So there's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of tips and tricks and different ways of building connections. What I'm trying to get at is that this is what I do for personally myself. I make connections on LinkedIn every day and it takes me under 10 minutes of my time. All right, I can do it any time of day. I could do it on a night using the LinkedIn app on my phone, and I can literally just make connections, connect, and then I'm connecting with people. Obviously, they've got to accept my connection request, but you know, people accept your connection request when they look at what you do, because when they look at my profile. All right, when businesses look at my profile on LinkedIn, they see that I'm not trying to sell them anything. And that is a big thing because we all get spammed on LinkedIn. A lot of companies get spammed on LinkedIn because, like I do, I get messages in my LinkedIn messages from businesses trying to sell me things, trying to sell me their products or services. The wonderful thing about our business, guys, especially on the LinkedIn platform, is that all we're trying to do is we are trying to buy from businesses. So all these connections you are making on LinkedIn, like the majority of them, because yeah, there's a few connections you make that might be a potential customer, all right, but that's another thing that I'm not teaching today. What I'm teaching is the secret to building connections to actually buy from. So I make 20 connections a day on LinkedIn. All right, 20 connections. It takes me under 10 minutes. That is from Monday to Friday. That means I'm making 100 new connections. All right, over a month, that means I'm making 400 new connections. Over a year, that's like nearly 5,000 connections. So what we're doing in effect is we're building connections, and then we are getting into conversations with these connections that we're making. All right, and then what starts to happen is, we start receiving surplus offers from a person that works for a specific company. So that person within that company I've now connected with, and I now can get into a conversation with that person. Now, they might not have any surplus to offer me immediately, but what I'm doing is I'm keeping in touch with all these connections through the year. Over 12 months, I'm keeping in contact with all these connections that I'm making. That's what I'm doing, because I'm grabbing their email address when I've connected with them. I'm not just, signing into LinkedIn every few weeks and seeing if anyone's messaged me. and to message a few people. No, I'm not doing that, guys. What I'm doing is I'm getting all my connections away from the LinkedIn platform into my email software, all right? And I'm keeping in touch with all my LinkedIn connections. Now, if you were doing that manually inside LinkedIn, you'd have to message each person one at a time. Can you imagine how time consuming that is? No. We are email, and this is what I'm teaching my students and what they're doing as well. And that's why we get great results on the back of LinkedIn from receiving surplus offers, because we are keeping in contact with, and it's a warm contact because we've made contact with a specific person, all right? It's not a cold contact where we're just literally emailing a company that we found through Google search. We've actually connected with a real person who's in a job position within a real business. We are literally keeping in contact with thousands of LinkedIn connections through the year away from the LinkedIn platform. We are emailing them in bulk, all right? Every few months we're emailing them. And when we email our LinkedIn connections, guess what happens? We email them with the subject header, because you have to put in a subject header when you email someone. We're connected on LinkedIn. That's it. We just put we're connected on LinkedIn. So if you received an email from someone who said we're connected on LinkedIn, you're going to open that email, aren't you? Yeah, correct. So what happens is we get an amazing email open rate from these people that we're emailing. And all we're actually doing is we're just nurturing our connections, and that is the real proper way to do it in our business. If you want to get good at finding pallets of stock, you've got to build a lot of connections, guys. You can't just build a few hundred connections and think, great, I've got a few hundred connections. No, you're building hundreds and thousands of connections every year. Every year, forever and ever and ever. All right? Now, with the LinkedIn platform, we are connecting with specific people who are more likely in a job position that know or have some knowledge on their stock situation in their business. What I'm saying is, hey Roman, how you doing? So what I'm saying here is that the people that we connect with on LinkedIn, they are highly likely to be in a job position where they will know about pallets of goods in their warehouse that are unwanted, unused, slow moving, surplus, pallets of goods that they want to get rid of. We're connecting with people on LinkedIn who are working in companies that will know about their stock situation. They will know because they're in specific job positions that deal with stock control, basically. They have knowledge on what's going on with their pallets of inventory in their warehouse. So they know all the time what pallets of goods they might have a problem with. You know, they might think, oh, we've got some pallets here that's slow moving. Or, oh, they were cancelled orders, those pallets. We're going to have to get rid of those. Oh, those pallets are an old range of products. We don't need them anymore. We don't sell those products anymore. Oh, those products over there, they're just surplus. They're just surplus to requirements. We don't need those anymore. And what starts to happen is, over the year, over the 12 months that we're keeping in contact with all these connections, old connections and brand new connections, what starts to happen is we get this snowball effect where they start offering us their pallets of surplus goods, all right? And then what we then do is we then push those offers that we receive to our buyer connections. All right, my students in my group, when they get offered surplus pallets of goods, they will show it to their buyer connections, or they will use me because I do a done for you service in my program where I will help find a buyer for that surplus stock. All right, so I'll give you an example. All right, someone approached me on LinkedIn, offered me these. Okay, they offered me some pallets of these jelly sweets. All right, and it was just someone that I reached out to. It was just an everyday business. It was someone, I think it was a sales director that I'd reached out to. Okay, I reached out to this company. I reached out to a lot of companies, you know, but, you know, I got an offer of these and we did a deal on these. We moved them on to another company over here that we know wants to buy confectionery products. All right, and that's the wonderful thing, because all these offers that are coming through each week from these businesses on LinkedIn, we've already got buyers ready and waiting to buy these goods that we're getting offered. All right, it's just a matter of getting the wheels in motion and discussing the deal, discussing the price, giving the right answers to our buyer who wants to buy these goods. And then we're in the middle. All right, we've got our buyer here, we've got the seller here from LinkedIn, we've got the LinkedIn seller who we've connected with maybe 3 months ago, 6 months ago, you know, it doesn't matter when. But because we're keeping in regular contact with these people, real people in real companies, they are offering us these deals, and then we're pushing these deals out to our list of buyer connections. So I might have a list of 5 buyers that I know would be interested in, you know, these here, neck cushions. You know, I got offered some neck cushions. I might have a list of 5 strong buyers that I know are in the business of, you know, they buy travel products and they buy these type of travel items that you sell to people that take them on the plane. So I've already got buyers lined up. So we are matchmakers. That's all we're doing. So what I'm trying to stress here, guys, is that when you come into my program, like the LinkedIn platform is something that will make you money like month after month after month if you use it properly. If you implement the methods that I teach, and that is making connections every week, every month, every week, then like you will make money. You will make between $1,000 and $5,000 per month, without a doubt. All right. Now, the great thing about the LinkedIn platform as well is that you can actually build high quality connections on there. When I say high quality, I'm talking like big name companies, big brand name companies. You can reach out to people within that company. Like, for example, Nestles. Nestles are a worldwide company, Nestle or Nestles, whichever way you want to call them. So Nestles, being a worldwide company, that is brilliant for us guys, because we can reach out to Nestles through LinkedIn, but we can reach out to Nestles, or we can reach out to people who work for Nestles, but in different countries. Does that make sense? So I can reach out and connect with people that work for Nestles in the UK, or France, or Germany, or Spain, or Poland, or America, or wherever. So what we're doing there, we are creating more opportunities for ourselves, because if we can't do business with Nestles in the UK, we might do business with Nestles in another country, because we've got a connection there within the offices in that country. Does that make sense? So it's a gold mine, guys. If you learn how to make money in this business, what you will realize is that You are only as good as your connections, all right? If you've got no connections, you make no money in this business. If you've got some connections, you make some money in this business. If you've got a lot of connections in this business, you make a lot of money, all right? You've heard the saying, your network is your net worth, all right? And the great thing about the pallet flipping business, or the finder's fees business, is that there are ways of getting connected to a big number of people very, very quickly. Like I say, you know, even just through LinkedIn, even if you just connected with 20 people a day, at the end of 1 month, you could have connected with 400 people. Like, how many businesses can you connect with 400 people that work in a specific business, a specific company, and then reach out to them and get into a conversation with them and see if they've got any stock that they can offer? And that's just 1 month. After 2 months, you could have 800 connections. After 3 months, you could have 1,200 connections. All right? And at the end of the day, it's purely a numbers game. But what I'm trying to say is, with connections, is that, and what I teach as well, is that you play the long game when you make connections on LinkedIn. You don't make connections and think, right, I've got to do business with them straight away. Or after a month, if you haven't done business with them, with your new connection, you think it's a waste of time. That's completely wrong, guys. The wonderful thing about this business is, let me ask you a question. If you made a new connection on LinkedIn today, but they didn't offer you any stock for 12 months, but after 12 months they offered you some stock and you made $2,000 or $3,000, would it have been worth it? Of course it would have been worth it. You play the long game building connections on LinkedIn, because you're not building connections with people to do business with them today, right? You're not. You're making connections with someone to do business with them at some point in the future, all right? To get offered some stock at some point in the future. I'm not bothered if my connections don't offer me any stock. If I get an offer if they offer me some pallets of goods 6 months after I've connected with them, and I do a deal on that stock, which is a great example. It's very typical of a deal. You know, it's a great example of a deal that I do. Let me tell you about a deal that I've just done this week. I got offered this was from a LinkedIn contact, it was a Chinese sauce called, you'll have heard of it. It's called soy sauce. We put it on our noodles. But the thing is, it was in bulk. It wasn't like a retail size soy sauce like we'd go buy in the supermarket. No, it was a giant 1 ton container of soy sauce. It was 1 ton, like a big square box, huge box, plastic box full of soy sauce in bulk. It was 1 ton in weight. I was offered 27 tons, all right? I found a buyer, okay? Now, my buyer was not even the end buyer. My buyer was just someone who is well connected in bulk food ingredients, all right? Is well connected in that industry. He found a buyer himself, and we did the deal yesterday, and the buyer bought 12 of these big 1 ton things. So he bought 12 tons off us, and me and the guy who found the buyer, we just split the profit 50-50. We made about £2,000 each, all right, 50% profit each. We made £2,000 each. And that connection that offered me that soy sauce, I connected with maybe 8 months ago, all right? So was it worth me waiting 8 months to make £2,000? Of course it was. All I did was send them an email. every 2 or 3 months. All I did was reach out to them every 3 months and say, how's it going? Have you got any pallets of goods sitting in your warehouse right now? You know, I'm looking for anything at all, anything considered. Please email me anything that you've got. They offered me this bulk. I think it was a cancelled order that they'd imported for one of their customers who cancelled the order. So they were left with this stock, and they've been sat on it for like a year. And it expired in December. Now we're in October, so they've realised, shit, we need to get rid of this stock or we're going to end up having to throw it away. So let's offer it to Matt. So they offered it to me. I put it out to my network of buyers, like I do for my own offers and for my students' offers. I put them out to my network of buyers, you know, with an aim to finding a firm buyer. Someone to go, yes, I'm interested. Put the hand up and say, thanks for the offer. Yes, we're interested. We did the deal. All right. And that was just from my connections. Now, if you learn to get good at building connections on LinkedIn, even if you just built connections on LinkedIn and did nothing else, but you did it every single day, every day without fail for 20 minutes a day, you would make money in this business, guys. Now, there's obviously a lot of different ways to make money. By doing Google searches, by getting, you know, using trade exhibition websites. There's millions of different ways, like reaching out to warehousing companies. There's just so many different ways, all right? But what I'm trying to say is, if you come into my program, what you will learn is just one method like this, where you can you'd make at least $500 a month, at least $500 a month, or pounds or euros a month, just by getting connected with people on LinkedIn. And if you keep doing that, you're going to earn more and more and more each month as well. So, you know, and LinkedIn is just a free, it's just a free platform with just like literally a gold mine of free data, a gold mine of free information. You know, to be able to find a person in a specific job position, in a specific company, and connect with them. And basically connect with them and say to them, you want to buy from them. Like, that's why these guys want to connect with us, because they're seeing someone who wants to connect with them, that wants to buy from them, wants to spend money with them. All right? We're not connecting with people and trying to sell them anything. You know, we're not trying to sell them insurance or other stuff that you get your message box flooded with. We are genuine businesses that are trying to buy from companies, and that's why for our industry it's so effective building connections on LinkedIn, because all we are trying to do is get offered pallets of goods from lots of different businesses, and we're just reaching out to people that work for these companies. It could be the owner of the company, it could be the sales director, it could be, you know, a procurement manager, supply chain manager, people that are involved in knowing about their products and stock, and maybe stock control, and maybe know what's going on in their warehouse and what pallets of goods they're sitting on. You know, they know what's going on up here. So they know what is going on with their products. You know, when I get offered stuff like this, someone that works for this company, they know what's going on in their warehouse. They know that they've got some slow-moving pallets of goods in their warehouse that they need to get rid of. Because when these companies buy in these goods into their warehouse, whether they import them or manufacture them or whatever, any company that has pallets of goods in a warehouse, all right, a lot of people don't realise this, but all companies that have pallets of goods sitting in a warehouse, those pallets of goods have to rotate, meaning they have to come into a warehouse and then within, I don't know, 3 months or whatever, they have to go out to a buyer, to their customer. They have to come in and then they have to go out. That's how businesses make money, selling products. They're bringing goods in, like they're importing goods or they're manufacturing goods or they've bought some goods from a distributor or whatever. Those goods that they've bought in and that have been delivered into their warehouse, they have to rotate. They have to keep rotating through the year. Goods have to come in and have to go out. So they've bought some goods in and then they've sold those goods. They have to keep rotating. That's what those goods that they're buying in and selling and that are going out, they're turning into money and putting money into circulation. That's what makes the economy, that's what makes the world go round. Companies who have goods in a warehouse and those goods go out to their customers. Well, if those pallets are just sitting there after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and they're still sitting there, there's a big problem. Because those goods that they've bought into their warehouse are basically losing money, taking up valuable storage space, costing them money in storage costs, all right? And so that's why we are being fed. Companies are feeding us all the time with offers of stock. That's what happens. And my students are saying they're being fed with offers of stock from businesses that they're reaching out to. All right. Now, you know, that's for another day, talking about the industry itself. But what I'm here today to talk about is how, even if you just started in this business, you could start making, you know, 500 to 1,000 a month, up to 5,000 a month within a year, if you stay consistent just on the LinkedIn platform and get connected with people. Connect with people, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. The more connections that you build through the LinkedIn platform, the high chance that you're going to be successful in this business, guys. All right. Now, if this resonates with you and you want to come into this business, but you maybe are in a job, maybe you're in a 9-to-5 job and you don't have much time. If you don't have much time, that's absolutely fine, because connecting with people on LinkedIn and then reaching out to these people through email or whatever, that is something that you can do very, very easily on the side of your 9-to-5. You could do it for an hour a day, literally, on an evening. You know, you could go on your computer an hour a day, build some connections, and then start reaching out to some connections that you've already made. See if you can get offered some surplus stock. And then with my help, we'll see if we can get these deals that you get offered over the line and money in the bank. All right. If you're interested, comment yes, and I will message you and we'll set up a call. We'll get on the phone and I'll show you exactly how you can get started in this business of buying and flipping pallets of goods, guys. All right, I hope some of this hit home, because like LinkedIn is very, very underrated. It always has been. I don't know why. I don't know why it's underrated. Most people who actually use LinkedIn don't use it on a daily basis. They'll sign up for LinkedIn and they'll make connections, and then they'll be off LinkedIn for a few weeks, and then they'll sign in and see if anyone's connected with them, read any messages that they might have got. You get people maybe checking in once a month, stuff like that. But if you go on it every day, like you're on Facebook and Instagram or wherever, you know, if you use it properly and you use it on a daily basis, like, it is a gold mine, guys. You are sat on a gold mine if you use it properly, because us guys are reaching out to people to try and buy from them. And that is kind of a rare thing on LinkedIn, because most people are trying to sell you something on LinkedIn, all right? Like, I'd probably say 95% of people on LinkedIn are just connecting with people to try and sell them something. You know, all the time someone's trying to connect with me to try and sell me something or other, which is not even relevant to my business at all most of the time. You know, but yeah, I get offered stock through LinkedIn Messenger, but also away from LinkedIn through email, because I'm keeping in contact with my thousands of connections on LinkedIn through the year. Through the year, each month, I'm emailing lists of my LinkedIn connections. And that's how you warm up these people. That's how you build up a bit of a relationship with them, you know. You kind of get into a little bit of a warmer relationship. You're nurturing these people. It's not cold. You're not just connecting with someone and saying, have you got any stock you want to sell? When they don't even know who you are. They don't know where you are. They don't know like anything about you. But if you keep in contact with them a bit more and email them more, and, you know, they reply back to you, and then you can reply back and say, how's things going? Hope you've been busy so far this year. You know, and just kind of a little bit of a conversation. They'll remember you. And then whenever they get any pallets of goods in their warehouse that are just unwanted, unused, surplus, they will remember you immediately. They will, you know, I get emails and I scroll down when I email them, and they were like from January 2022. You know, I'm thinking, wow, they've remembered me from January, from like 10 months ago. They've remembered me. And that's because I keep in contact with them, guys. All right? So I hope you found that useful. But like, this is just one method that I teach in this business. It's just one very, very effective, very time-effective method of making money in the pallet flipping business, just on the back of the LinkedIn platform. There's other methods. There's other ways of making money in pallet flipping on the back of Google searches, on the back of eBay, on the back of Amazon, on the back of Facebook. All right, all these major platforms, I teach how to make money on the back of these platforms. But LinkedIn is one that is just superb, guys, because it's very, very untapped for us guys anyway. I love it because we are reaching out to businesses to try and buy from them, all right? Whereas everyone else is joining LinkedIn to try and sell something to someone. But us guys, all we're trying to do is get offered stock, like all this stuff behind me. All the sample, you know, all these are samples from businesses. A lot of these are from companies that I've connected with on LinkedIn, you know. And they've offered me stock, and I've just asked for samples. Yeah, you know, they just sent me samples. That's all. So that's it. So the more connections you build on LinkedIn, the more inventory you're going to get offered. And it's a numbers game. So when you've got a load of deals on the go, you know, 20 deals on the go, if you've got 20 offers that you've got stacked up in your pipeline, that's what we call it, a pipeline. When you get an offer from a company of some stock, and then you get an offer from another company, and then another company, you're just stacking up these offers, all right? And you're working on them. You're working on that offer, and you're pushing it out to a buyer. You're working on another offer that's coming. You're pushing that out to a buyer. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You're going to get these offers, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all right? That's what you're getting all the time, each day, each week. You're getting offers coming in from these businesses that you're reaching out to. You're getting some good offers with potential. You're getting some average offers. You're getting some rubbish offers that are a waste of time. And that's it. You're stacking up these offers. When you hit the point where you're getting enough offers coming through each week, that's when you start making the big money, guys. you start making the 5-figure a month numbers, like 10 grand a month in profit, all right? And that is easily doable if you stay focused and you follow exactly what I teach, and you will make money in this business. If it resonates with you, comment yes in the comments, and I'll send you a link in Facebook Messenger for you to book a call with me, 30-minute call, 30 to 45 minutes call. And we'll look at what you're doing, what your goals are. You know, you might be in a job on one income, but you want to make a second income stream. You know, we'll have a look at what you're doing, how much money you want to make each month. You know, I want to look at you and see if I think you're a good fit for this business. You might want to look at me and see if I'm a good fit for you. But, you know, you might not be a good fit for this business. There's plenty of people that apply who are not a good fit for this business. I know straight away, all right? I know straight away by the questions I ask, all right? So, yeah, we'll get on a call and we'll have a look at what you're doing. And if you've got a little bit of money to invest, it's a low 4-figure investment, or if you just want to start making finder's fees, it's a 3-figure investment, all right, to get into that lower end entry-level program. So, you know, you can come in at the low end one, or you can come straight into the higher ticket one where you can learn everything and, you know, potentially make more money a lot quicker, guys. But I'll leave it at that, guys. Hope you enjoyed this training on LinkedIn, on the LinkedIn platform, and how incredible this platform is. You know, the potential is incredible. I make between 5,000 and 10,000 a month without making a big effort. And that when I say without making a big effort, I spend probably half an hour on and off through the day connecting with people, making some posts, you know, commenting on a few people's posts, answering a few messages in my messenger. Maybe half an hour to an hour a day I spend on it. And on the back of that each month, I probably make between minimum 5,000 up to 5 figures sometimes, without a doubt. And I think you can build up to, I think the maximum, I think if you're on the free version, you're allowed to connect up with up to 30,000 people. 30,000. Well, you will make money all day long connecting with, if you manage to ever connect with 30,000 people. I don't know how many I've connected with so far. I think I'm on about 15,000, 12,000, 15,000, maybe more. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked. But yeah, guys, if you want to learn to make money flipping pallets on the back of all these major platforms, you know, LinkedIn is a superb place to make money. Superb for the pallet flipping business. So comment yes if you are interested in having a chat with me about coming into my program. All right. Well, leave it at that. I'll leave this video in on the timeline so you can watch the replay. All right, guys. All the best.